Shoulders above everybody else?
Yeah, obviously the heavyweight. That guy, 24 years old, 6'7", 7-0, 6 knockouts. Love it. And then obviously Elijah Smith, very impressed with him too.
I just realized you said you're rushing because you have a flight to catch. So there's probably not a departure time, like you're okay.
No, there's not, but there's customs that you have to catch customs right or you are fucked.
All right. Any thoughts of 2 contracts in the main event? That was a hell of a fight. Did you have any thoughts at all? I know that's not something you do very often, but was it?
No, listen, I felt like Elijah came out dead serious in the first round. Aaron was kind of playing around and taking it lightly. You saw in the second round he was not. He found out Elijah came here to fight, and then when Aaron dug in, it turned into a fight once he got serious. And what was great is this kid took this fight on 3 weeks' notice, ended up in a dog fight with a tough, badass dude, and dug deep and pulled. In the third round, when he was like trying to go for the feet, I said, "It's done. It's over." Elijah just broke and quit, and he stood up and just started going to war. And I said, "All right, Elijah, I apologize. I counted you out too quick." And he dug deep, and those two were both just dropping bombs. I mean, I was already standing up clapping with 10 seconds left of the fight. It was a great fight, much respect for both guys, and yeah, it was a fun one.
A UFC veteran's son in the UFC. I mean, give me your thoughts on that. I mean, does it make you feel old?
I'm old, yeah, exactly. That means I'm old, yeah, but very cool. Very cool to see that come around, yeah.
I want to ask you about UFC Africa. You know, obviously an African standout tonight. I mean, kid looks incredibly good. But where do you stand on an event over there, a PI over there, and just the future of the sport with athletes over there?
I've been saying this. I said, wait till we build I said it to the guys at the table tonight. Wait till we build a PI in Africa, and some of these guys start coming in from at a young age and learning everything. It's going to be. It's like. Just like Mexico. Wait until 5, 6, 7 years, Mexico, same thing's going to happen. And who knows with Africa? It could be even crazier.
How far are we away on that? I know you want to do next year. You want to take Drickus there.
Just open Mexico, yeah. These things aren't cheap. They're very expensive. They're very expensive. They take time, and, it's a massive reinvestment in the sport.
Nice.
We have 3 of them now, 3 PIs. They're fucking expensive, so... I don't know.
Worth the expense, though?
Huh?
Worth the expense? Like an investment? I mean...
Yeah, well, you have to do it. I mean, you have to reinvest in the sport, or we're boxing in 10 years.
I want to ask you about Ahmad. You said you were going to pass, but Sean Shelby wanted him. So does he need to send a thank you note to Sean Shelby, like he was done if Sean didn't ask for him?
Yeah, I wasn't going to take him, but I always, I ask the boys, what do you guys think? I give them my opinion. This is what I think, and then Sean wanted him, so... Yeah, 100% Sean Shelby. So he owes Sean for that one.
So if he fails, it's Sean's fault.
What's that?
If he fails, it's Sean's fault.
No, if he fails, that failing is up to him. Whether he succeeds or fails is up to him. But yeah, Sean wanted him. So hey, listen, I come in here one night. I don't know anything about these guys. I see who they are and what they got in one night, and I decide whether I want them or not. Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard know everything about these guys, and Sean wanted them. So there you go.
Nice. I know you're in a rush, but I did want to ask you outside of tonight, we're a few days removed now from the Sphere, the show that you built up. I mean, we talked about it on Saturday night, but in retrospect, a few days removed, soaking it all in, what are your thoughts on what unfolded on Saturday?
Well, I don't think that we've ever done an event, even 300. I mean, name the event. We've never done an event where days after, I mean, my phone is still blowing up from people hitting me about the experience. We flew to LA yesterday for meetings, and, there and back in Vegas at the airport, people were, it's just, I don't know if I've ever been a part of an event where so many days after, people are still sending me texts and pictures. And when I run into people that are Mexican, they go crazy. And I don't know if you saw the post that I posted, but that was sent to Craig Borsari. It's awesome. I mean, that text is awesome.
Yeah. I know that the MGM deal is in place. It was a one-off, but given all that, given that excitement, given the what's happening, do you feel like that is a future venue for the UFC? Like it's not one and done?
I'm already looking at going to Mexico next year. I want to go to Guadalajara next year for Noche.
Nice.
They're building a new arena there. It'll be done in 25, and I'll go there. I'm not even thinking about doing Vegas now for Noche. After the way that whole thing went down, just left a bad taste in my mouth. We'll do Mexico. We'll go to Texas. We'll go to Arizona. We'll go to different places now for Noche. Vegas can have the boxing matches.
Dana, you said about that whole thing with the MGM Arena guy. Did you ever hear his reaction to the Sphere show and everything like that?
I don't give a fuck what he thinks about the show. No. Why would I give a shit what he thinks?
I just wondered if he maybe saw what you guys could produce and regretted letting you guys go there.
Give a shit.
Okay. Into the heavyweight fight, Arthur Lopez came out swinging. He was obviously a massive underdog. Do you think that's how people should fight if they're such a heavy underdog against such a bigger opponent?
Oh, listen, I got up and walked back and said to him, much respect. Listen, that guy should drop down to 205. And, Mick said, anybody drops out of anything, I would love to have that guy in. Let me tell you what that guy's not going to do. Bum anybody out next time he fights. That guy's a dog. I loved it.
On Saturday, we announced Jon Jones, Stipe MIocic is officially happening. Jon then was seen ringside saying that this is probably the last one. I'm sure there could be negotiations involved, but have you spoke to him about maybe his future after this event?
Why speak to him after this event? You got to figure out what's going to happen in this fight. Yeah. See how this fight plays out, and then we'll go from there.
Is Tom Aspinall officially the backup for that fight?
Yes. Okay. Tom Aspinall is next in line for anything that happens after this fight.
Dana, I just have a quick question. Don Davis spoke today about the Francis fight that they're planning, and he says that he spent more on the production of that fight than you spent at the Sphere. And I'm just curious if you think that's possible. Don Davis, PFL, says he spent more than the Sphere.
I didn't even know who he was till you said it. So what did he say? He spent more?
He says he's spending more on the production of the Francis fight than you guys spent on the Sphere production.
Sounds like a good idea. Anyway. Good for him. Good luck. Hope it all works out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dana, do you have any report on Aido? He got taken away on a stretcher after that ground and pound.
What about him?
The guy that fought Gauthier. Do you have any report?
Yeah. Listen, you see his eye? He's definitely got a broken orbital or, something with his orbital. No doubt about it.
And he had trouble walking out, so
Yeah. His whole eye was.
But I mean,
when he went back, his whole eye was this big. Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. But mentally, I mean,
broken
brain,
orbital. Broken orbital. Okay. Sure, he was dizzy. Can't see out of one eye. Yeah.
Okay.
Broken orbitals are fucking painful.
Just a couple quick ones from me. O'Malley announces today he's having hip surgery. And I don't understand how these guys fight with, he has a torn labrum, and then 2 days later they're having surgery. I mean, isn't there a process in place? That's a pretty significant injury. You can't, fight at your best performance if you have a torn labrum, right?
I agree.
So how do you prevent that from happening where they're supposed to disclose to the commission and they don't do that?
You can't. You know what I mean? If these guys come in and they have something and we don't know, I mean, how would the doctors check for a torn labrum? You know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah, knowing what you know now, does that explain the performance, or do you think Merab was just so good in that fight that he was going to win the fight on that given night anyways?
Literally everybody reached out to me that night and said, Sean O'Malley didn't look like himself. He didn't look explosive. He didn't look, all the same stuff we were all saying that night.
Right. And then lastly,
not to take anything from Rob, but
correct.
I mean, everybody felt that way.
Last question. I mean, can you just give a little more detail on this arena that you talked about? Is it the one that the people from the L.A. are talking about down off Las Vegas Boulevard, where they're talking about an NBA arena, or is this another project?
Oh, the arena? Yeah, no, it's a different one.
It's a different. And where would that be in this resort area they're talking, or somewhere?
Yeah, it's in Vegas. Yeah.
And down on the strip, area, that type of thing. Okay.
Yes.
Is there need for that type of thing here? Now you would have 4 or 5 arenas all within a couple mile span of each other.
I agree. I mean, they're popping up like crazy here. But listen, there's tons of sports coming to this town now. Between UFC, boxing, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, and God knows what else. Did I say soccer? It's all coming here now.
How long is your deal?
And then you
left
got
with MGM?
concerts. I mean, nonstop concerts, and there's always something to do here. It's always going to need an arena.
How long is the exclusive with MGM left?
I don't know off the top of my head. Do you know,
close?
Craig? You know what the exclusive with MGM is that we have? How much time we have left on that contract? Yeah, we don't know.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Dana, over here. Speaking of the main event, Aaron, obviously, like you said, he looked like he was out in that first round, and then he started to come back and kind of made it a dogfight. Just looking at that fight, he might beat guys that are already on this UFC roster. Is he a guy that you might bring back to the Contender Series and just give him another shot?
Yeah, I would never say no. I mean, he in the first round, a lot of showboating and goofing around and was getting picked apart, and then came back dead serious in the second round and turned it into an absolute war. But yeah, I mean, most of these guys, if they keep winning and doing their thing, they find their way back here. I think the only thing with him is he's 31 years old. You know what I mean?
So looking back at the Sphere again, you didn't have an answer post fight, but did you anyone find all the Easter eggs?
Yeah, we had 28 people who found the Easter eggs. So they go into a pool, and the winner has already been determined. Legal has it right now, so legal's dealing with it.
Was it a random drawing?
Yeah, it's a random drawing. Yeah, and there's all this. Can't be related to anybody. You can't fucking. If you ever said hi to somebody at the UFC, you're out. Fucking, you know. So it's.
Is that more people than you thought would find them all?
Yes. What do you think, Craig? It was Craig's. It's good you're in here. It was Craig's baby, actually. The whole Easter egg thing.
I think it helped that all the fights went the distance. Yeah, it definitely did. Time to check it out, but if there were a couple one-rounders in there, I thought it was going to be hard.
Sure.
Especially World 2.
The first two were insane.
Yeah.
The first two were like,
2 was really hard.
2 was insane.
His wife found
Actually, John Morgan's wife.
My wife found the second one. I was like, "You're fucking genius!" Like I never would have seen that. Yeah, but
If in round 1, if she would have found it, that would have been
insane. And the first fight, like nobody saw that one going the distance. Like who would have ever thought that? You know? Yeah.
Just a couple more. Did you see that video of Jake Paul saying he was banned from all UFC events and then put the costume on?
Yeah. Listen, if Oscar De La Hoya was there, okay, let's put it that way. Nobody's banned from the UFC. Listen, that kid knows how to market and do his thing, and you know, all that good shit. But yeah, no, Jake Paul's welcome to come to UFC. He just can't bring that you know.
Then just one last one for me, just because a couple of Brazilian colleagues asked me to ask you. This past year, excluding the pandemic, is the first year you haven't been back to Sao Paulo since 2012. So I guess what are your plans for Brazil in 2025 moving forward?
Off the top of my head right here, right now, I don't know. But obviously, you know, Brazil is very important to us. And we're actually working on a big deal right now down in Brazil that hopefully we'll announce here pretty soon. So Brazil's very important market to us.
What kind of deal? Like a TV deal or what?
I'll let you know when we get closer. I don't want to throw any shit out there. You don't want to throw anything out there when nothing's done.
Dana, just one last one on the Sphere. You know, obviously the screen was incredible. I thought the costume design was one of the most impressive things I've seen in quite a while. If you do take the show on the road, obviously there's not going to be a Sphere, but will the costume design be something that you try to work into the element if you do take the show on the road?
Well, the costume design was literally, I mean, as authentic as you could possibly get, and they were all real clothes, and you know, they were done by one of the best designers in Hollywood that does that stuff. So, you know, probably not. No, I mean, our Octagon girls don't wear that stuff, and that, you know, this was a one night only. I told you guys, this was a one of one. This was a one of one. If you went and you got to experience it, we did pull off translating it onto television, but it's definitely not like being there. If you were there, it was, I mean, I was involved in this thing from fucking the inception till it went off that night, right? When I first went to the first, and I said this before, when I went to the first rehearsal, I guess we would call that a rehearsal, for the first time that we went in there, I had, let's just say I had a load on me, man. I was stressed out. These guys messed up, and they opened with the marigold, the skull thing, and I went, I don't need to see anything else. This is it. We did it. We did it. Whatever else is coming, if it's even a quarter as good as this, we did it. And then we went to the full-blown rehearsal. And when the show open starts, and it starts basically at the beginning of time, and just fucking. Even that night, I went up. So I had a box. I had my family in a box, and we went up I sat up in the box for the whole open until like the marigold one, right? And it was just. I was blown away, and I've been a part of it since the very beginning. It was my idea, and yeah, I was blown away. And him and his team have literally killed themselves for 7 months. Guys are exhausted. One of them got sick. This took a toll on us, man. This is one of one. Done.
Thanks, Dana.
Adam, quick, which was your favorite movie part?
So it's hard to pick a favorite, but leading up to it, my favorite was Valentina and Grasso, with the statues and the whole thing. And I don't know if you noticed, but they were walking. That was all filmed. That wasn't, and then it timed out to where they walked out. You thought they just walked through that hallway. But it's hard to, the opening with the big bang and whatever, and it's the skull one is hard not to love. So good. Good? All right. Thanks, you guys.